Hi,
Hey, how are you?
how are you doing? I am Amazon, and you?
Good, good. Yeah, thanks for taking the time. Where are you calling from today?
I am located at this moment in Portugal.
Gotcha. Okay, great. Our team's based out of the U.S. In New York, D.C. area. So yeah, I know that my colleague Ruder had reached out to you the other day regarding helping raise capital for your company. Um, I was not able to find your website, anotherstupidbrand.org, if that was the site or something. That's what I had in the notes. So I don't know if there was a different website for it. But with that in mind, is this for that company or is it for a different one?
No, so the point is that Volmand is a startup factory. We are in the early stage of the startup factory. We already have the corporate governance, and we are going to incorporate in the US for next year.
Okay.
Related to another stupid brand, or it is a non-profit, or we are open to create profitable products with the brand. It is like a strategy to make a protest to different brands, to different organizations. So the point is that our purpose is when the goals or the purposes are more important than any brand, organization, person, or whatever. We make that kind of protest. For example, we have almost 10 profiles on Twitter related with different protests, and we send different message. So if you analyze our our Twitter profiles, you can see it. Well, we are planning to create the organization, but we were thinking in for starting in a non-profit. So at this moment, I am having different initiatives and projects for different industries. So I would like to evaluate how we can, how are you working in order to understand how you can make the match with different investors in order to connect that kind of ideas. I was a serial entrepreneur during 20 years, and at this moment I am assuming the challenge to become a parallel entrepreneur. For the reason we created a startup studio, and you know that with startup studio is a little bit complex to find potential investors. In my LinkedIn network, I have been reaching different potential investors with the startup studios. So let me know how we can cooperate. If you have any question about us, I can tell you about a potential initiative. I have, for example, a pre-pitch deck for Minnzer. It is one of our initiatives. I am not sure if I share with you the pre-pitch deck, and we also have a research cooperation proposal related with Minnzer. We are planning to connect humanity by compatibility in goals and problems to solve, and we want to create a dashboard in order to integrate different features. Like we want to create a macro trend, like the hashtags. That, for example, when you make a post, you can set attach the post in any social network to a particular goal. So, for example, you can search. We can have a search engine related with goals, and we can match with people by goals. It doesn't matter if the post was in a different social network than you have. So we want to create a new dashboard connecting different APIs and web service with different social networks. And I have been doing different proposals. For example, in my LinkedIn network, I have some people from Twitter, from Facebook, from Instagram, from WhatsApp, uh, from LinkedIn, and I am planning to make them a proposal from change.org. That's what we are doing at this moment. Let me know about how we match with investors in order to create a particular proposal for them.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. So basically, what we do at Fish is we introduce startups to investors. We have a group of investors that we've built out over the last few years, several hundred high net worth individuals. We have VCs, family offices, people like that. And then we have several thousand that are in more second degree networks to our initial networks. What we do is anytime we have a client that's looking to raise capital, we do some due diligence with the client. We look at it, we see, okay, is this a project we want to introduce to our investors or not? We reject over 75% of the potential clients that want to work with us, but the clients that we choose to work with will then make strategic introductions to our investors. So you will essentially be able to meet with a certain number of people in our network. Sometimes it could be as low as 5, sometimes it could be upwards of 30, 40, 50. Really depends on how many investors you get interested. So what we do is we pretty much act as a placement agent, making strategic investor introductions and letting you take the calls and close the capital. So that's how we work. We also utilize a little bit of cold outreach as well. I'm sure you've heard of databases like PitchBook, Crunchbase, Signal. We use those to essentially create really targeted outreach campaigns for our clients, where we use, we create email addresses and we send out, emails to potential investors that we think are a really good fit for your opportunity. And then we also use LinkedIn, which I know you mentioned you're using a little bit, but we do it at a very large scale, where we use the co-founders of the company's profiles to directly reach out to, angels, VCs, whoever you're looking to talk to, and we set up calls that way. So basically, our company is really good at helping, really qualified startups get 15 to 20 plus quality investor meetings a month on autopilot, and that's what we really focus on. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. And how about the stage? We are in pre-seed stage. Do you have investors
Yeah.
for pre-seed stage?
Yeah, our investor base is primarily pre-seed and seed. We don't work with any companies Series A or later. It's only early stage.
So, for example, I have some investors from SpaceX. They are Type 1 Ventures. I have them, some of them in my LinkedIn network. And I was waiting that Elon Musk purchase Twitter in order to send them a proposal for Twitter to create an API. Because, for example, with Minnzer, I think that it is one of our best ventures. In fact, I created a particular pre-pitch deck only for this venture. Uh, the point is that we need to negotiate first with the social networks in order to propose them what we want to create, and we need to conduct the UX research rather than starting with a prototype. I am having ideas related with provisional patent application. In my LinkedIn network, I have some investors that are focused only in patents, and let me know if, for example, we can talk them that if we can start with a provisional patent application, if we can help with the connection for potential uh, social network. If, for example, some of them already invested in the social network and they have connection with people in that big tech companies. Because with this particular idea, we need to make this stage first, and I am planning to trip to Silicon Valley. And for example, I have been attempting to reach Mark Zuckerberg for 3 times. Last year, in January, I was trying to reach him in his house in Palo Alto, but someone started to take picture about me, and I was scared to violate any particular law in California. So I leave the place. So the point is that I am trying to make that kind of things. I have been preparing some videos with ideas. I have been writing some particular proposals, and I also created a pre-pitch deck. I must update it. I need to update it because I did it when we started the year, but I can share you what we have at this moment, and we can try to connect with the investor. I can pitch the idea. The point is that I haven't created a prototype for the reason because I do not want to waste the time of potential designers or potential programmers or engineers creating a prototype. And if we don't have a negotiation with a particular social network, maybe we will not be successful with this particular idea. So I think that we can focus on this idea. On the other hand, for example, I faced sick bankruptcies. I was in the digital entertainment industry. I have some idea related with VR arcades. I have one of the CEO of one of the largest VR arcades, Hologate, and I am trying to make him a proposal because I did a prototype with this business. I think that it is a good business, the VR arcades. And also I was an entrepreneur in the textile industry and the fashion industry and the direct sale industry. And I can share you what we have, what we do, what I was doing in the past. And if we can to try to connect it again, I am planning to travel to United States next year. So I want to open the market there, and I would like to connect with potential investors. And that's what we have for the moment.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, we can put you in front of investors. Most of our investors are U.S. investors, so waiting until you have the U.S. entity set up would probably make sense rather than starting now. But most of our investors are U.S. investors. We have, a pretty good, amount of people in our direct network. We also have some connections in Europe and Canada. Um, if you want to send me some information on your, some literature, some decks, I can circulate it around, see if there's any initial interest. But what we do primarily is we act as a placement agent, like I mentioned, where we have our investors, we introduce our startups to our investors, and we see if there's a fit. The model that we use right now, we're in the process of getting a broker dealer license. So basically, with the broker dealer, we'll be able to operate on success fees. When we bring you money, then you pay us a percentage, usually about 3%. But until we have the license, which is going to be Q2 of next year, so around April, March. Until we have the license, the way we charge right now is we just charge a monthly retainer around $3,500 a month, usually 3-month contract terms, so about 10.5 grand. But then next year we'll switch it over to solely success fees. So if it doesn't make sense to pay the retainer, then you can always wait. But basically, that's how we work. And most of our clients get 50 to 60 investor meetings in 3 months. So, with that in mind, if you want to send me some literature, I can respond with some materials that we have. We have plenty of references that have raised millions of dollars with us, and I can introduce them to you if you want to speak with them. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it as far as what we do. We're really focused on working with pre-seed to seed stage companies. So what you have is in our wheelhouse, but it may make more sense to wait until the new year to start once you're incorporated in the US.
Yeah, that's great. In fact, I would like to evaluate if we can work together in the UX research related with in the technical fields of patents. We have electronic negotiation like a field of data system and methods that technical specific that specific technical field, and let me know if we can brainstorm about the potential methods related with electronic negotiation con investors, and we can create a particular methods considering your experience. And I have some ideas. For example, if you read the pre-pitch deck of Minnzer, we want to boost we want to create design the future of initiative boosting, and we want to, for example, connect in a new way investors with entrepreneurs, and we have a particular kind of entrepreneur, for example, scientific entrepreneur, digital entrepreneur, technological entrepreneurs. We want to create different particular types of entrepreneurs and different types of investors. And for example, if you organize the goals of investors or the particular industries like Chrome base, we can start using that database, and we can create an API with them, and we can connect it with different investors, because sometimes they try to organize the information related with investor and startups, but I think that we can improve it. The point is that it is a different path, because it is the path of technological entrepreneurship, that you start with a provisional patent application rather with a prototype with a patent. And at that point, you know that if you disclose the methods first, you will damage the prior art. And the point is that so let me know if we can brainstorm about it, because you are working all the day on it, and we can create an scalable product in order to connect all of this information. And I have some good ideas related with how to connect investors and entrepreneurs, and also investors with universities, or non-profit with grant with investors that they can make a particular kind of grant. And that's what I want to validate, if you are open to make it, and we can uh, and I can prepare a proposal at any moment about it for your company.
Yeah, if you want to send me some info, I can take a look at it and share it with my team and let you know. I'm going to want to have my team look at it, and we can get back to you.
Great, awesome.
Okay. So as far as working with us, do you have any questions about how our company works, how we're priced, anything like that?
So do you have any investors with experience in startup studios or patents in your network?
Yeah, there's a few.
Okay. So I think that we can try to make something like this. I want to know the kind of network that you have in order to prepare a proposal. I think that our next step is to prepare a proposal. For example, one of my practices is related. I prefer to make a video meeting with defining goals, and I also uh, set the time for each goal in seconds. If you want that kind of video meetings, we can make that kind of meetings if we know the kind of connection that you have. I have clear goals about what we are looking for potential investors, and in this case we can work in that way. So for our next video meeting, I need to finish some political negotiation. I am in Portugal for security reasons, and for example, I maybe I must request a political asylum in the United States in order to migrate to the United States. And it will be great if, for example, we can create an intention letter about it in order to present it to United States Immigration. If you see our documents, one of my next short-term goals are related with the migration process to the United States. I am in Portugal because I am negotiating the the citizenship of Portugal, because they open a request for the people with Jewish origins, and in the United States I have been attempting to connect, but to migrate, but it is a little bit difficult. Well, I am not in Colombia for this reason, so I am trying to connect with people from the United States in order to make it, and that's what I am doing for the moment. And well, let me know if you have any question about me, about us.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this all sounds good. If you want to send me an email with all that information, then I can look it over and get back to you.
Great, awesome.
Awesome. Okay, well, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for your time. Have a good day. Bye bye.